Put your head on my.
First, this is the Coffee First podcast.
Yes.
As you will know, the podcast for creators, by creators.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, creators, for tuning in. And do this just because I like to network with people, put people on the podcast, see how they think.
Yes.
Thank you, Nick Sequeira.
Nick Sequeira.
Nick Sequeira. I always try to put some accent behind it. I don't know why. It's that Q.
Well, the accent is the R is pronounced like a D. That's the accent. Nick Sequeira.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's just like
insect. Okay, that's cool. That's
yes.
cool. How'd you come up with the name?
I didn't come up with the name. That's my actual surname. It's a Portuguese surname. It's spelled Sequeira, but it's pronounced just like the insect, as far as I'm aware. I'm not Portuguese. None of my family.
I was just about to ask that.
I don't know why that is.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Have you been there, Portugal?
No, I've never been to Portugal.
No.
But
would you?
Yeah, I guess. Sounds like an okay country. I rather go to Brazil. I mean, Brazil is like the center of Portuguese thought in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I would go to Brazil too. I'd go there for the females, just to see them shake. You know how in the shows they like their way of dancing. I can't remember the name of it, but the way of dancing is cool. It's like African style dancing too, like how they just move their bodies.
Bossa Nova, samba. I've
what is it called? Samba?
Yeah, I mean there's samba, there's bossa nova, there's Latin jazz. Admittedly, my Brazilian media diet isn't too extensive. But I mean, there's a recent movie called what's it called? We're Still Here, about the Brazilian government's reign of terror in the 1970s. And there's City of God, I like that. And then there's Jose Karaoke always. But other than that,
did you hear that story about the people who had their like own island, and like it was in national waters, but then it just got like, I think it was either Paris or I think it was Paris, but when they found out about it, they had a problem about it, and they went on, did some extra stuff, started a war with their small ass island. Like it's literally a platform, like maybe about a block big.
No, I can't say I've ever heard of that particular island, although there are many fascinating islands.
I just read about it this morning. I seen it on Instagram.
Yeah,
that's the perks of like swiping on some pages. You'd be like finding out cool stuff, but I just
right.
But I like to bring people on here to really just get 3 questions off, get to know the creator I'll be on here more. Yeah. And the main question is, what's your morning routine? But before we get on there, go ahead and tell me where I can find you, what you do as a creator, and a little bit about yourself.
You can find me on YouTube, Nicolas Sequeira. I've been posting about video every 3 days since like 2019. You can find me on Instagram, Nicolas_comics. I don't post on there too often. I post on YouTube more. My website is tinyurl.com/NicolasComics. That's information on how to find my comics, how to buy them, and a couple little previews of my work. And then I also post on a couple of obscure internet forums time to time, and that's about it. And you buy my comics through mail order. I've been doing that since 2018. 2018 actually. Videos since 2019, comics since 2018. Other than that, new wave keyboardist here in the Denver area. I play new wave keyboard. I play specifically Denver new wave is the subgenre of new wave that I play, and
that's what the genre is. Denver new wave.
Yes, it's Denver new wave. It was pioneered by bands such as the Aviators back in the 1980s.
Okay.
And it's new wave with a distinctly Denver sentiment. I take the new wave canon very seriously, and I take my my current status as a representative of new wave seriously. And currently, my goal is to play as many open mics locally as possible. and spread the word of my comics, and also spread the word of how great New Wave is, and play as much New Wave as possible. And I have a lot of albums and music and stuff out too.
How'd you get into the comics?
Well, the comics I've always been into ever since a very young age. That's why I consider them my main enterprise.
Manga or comics?
Comics. I was into Thimble Theater by E.C. Seeger. I'm into EC Comics from the 1950s, DC Comics from around 1939 to 1950.
DC or Marvel?
EC, Entertaining Comics, the EC Gaines, the EC Gaines company. Yeah, responsible for such stories as Shock Suspense, the Tales from the Crypt, Haunt of Fear, so on. DC is only worth reading, I'd say, from 1939 to 1950. And Lev Gleason and Fawcett Comics. I like those too.
Fawcett Comics?
Yes, Fawcett Comics, the publishers of Captain Marvel. Yeah, nothing after the DC acquisitions worth reading. Oh, Charlton Comics too. I like Charlton Comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you got a collection, huh? So many issues. Oh man, that's just cold. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Every time I try to start a collection, I jump from issue to issue. Have a hard time completing the collection. Like, I got like 2 books of Baki.
Yeah.
And then there's like, I think 8 or 9 issues. Or I got One Piece, like some issues of that, but not the complete series.
Right. Well, if following long arcs is the issue, then I mean, comics from the 1940s or mid-1950s are great because they're all episodic and there's no long-term continuity. Although I will say, picking up a reprint of a long-form storyline with all the issues collected in it does pretty well. And I mean, it's not like you're going to get any information omitted with that, although it can be pricier. It makes kind of more sense to go and just buy one issue of an episodic series and consume that. And if you like it, to get more. I don't generally read too many comics with a long-form arc.
Most that. Like, it's just like quick. You use the shorter series type though?
Not shorter series. I mean, Tales from the Crypt clocks in pretty long, but each issue is self-contained. So there's no need to...
How long are your series on average?
On average, well, I do things obviously on the shorter side because I'm just one person. But there are a lot of admirable long-form series that are all done by like one person or like a couple of people.
Okay.
Currently, I'm on a 5-issue miniseries called Get Dippy, and it's been planned from the start to only be 5 issues because the story would really, I wouldn't feel right dragging it out longer than it needed to go on. It has a definitive end. It always has since I started it. But I have an ongoing series called Dr. Wesley Moss about the adventures of a psychedelic physicist in Dimension X. And that obviously has a lot of potential and can go on as long as I want it to. And currently my longest series is Blotto, which is my zine, but it doesn't really have any kind of narrative continuity. It's just a little assortment of odds and ends.
That's crazy. Oh, man.
There are good examples of long-running comics by just a couple people, like Teenage Mutant. Yeah, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a long series, and it's just Laird and Eastman.
Hell yeah, whoever started the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is probably making so much bank.
The Laird and Eastman. I mean, I respect them in that. I mean, they're still mainly behind the TMNT comics today, like The Last Ronin. That's very popular comic, and it's by the same guy that invented Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay,
so
that's cool as fuck. Huh.
Yeah.
See, that's crazy. So, do you like the dialogue more or the artist work? Like the dialogue or the drawing the pictures more? Or over like, do you like just the storytelling?
Well, it really depends on the individual story. There are some comics like Too Much Coffee Man by Shannon Wheeler where the dialogue takes precedent and the art is just kind of there to fill in the gaps because the writing is incredibly witty and sardonic. But then there are comics like The Crow where the art is really good. The story, well, it's very interesting, but it's not exactly the most original or inventive thing in the world. So the art really takes center stage with something like The Crow. The Crow I mean, The Mask was originally an independent comic. Men in Black was originally an independent comic. Lots of good stuff starts out as independent comics. The Crow is very good.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. See, that's dope. I commend you on that because that's just crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I could read a comic or a manga and like say it's a lot of work, but to put in all that work onto it, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But besides, so comic and making a comics. Before I go to the next one, you just shouted out at least 4 or 5 different comics that you made. You got to tell me where to find them.
All right. Well,
look in the camera's eyes.
Yes.
And say the website.
If you're watching, you can get them by writing to Nicolas Sequeira, 1424 Columbine Street, number 1, Denver, Colorado 80206. I have a free catalog that I send. It's totally free. You fill it out, check off which comics you want, and they're sent to you within the week. Or if you already know which comics you want and I say which price they are, then just send them cash and then you get the comic within the week. And that's how it's been since 2018. And I've got about 500 titles. You can also order VHS tapes, cassette tapes. I've got paperback novels. I know how to bookbind now, so I've got some paperback novels coming out under like a pulp imprint. And yeah, so that address is where to go for Nicolas Comics. We got like 5 series going on simultaneously right now, and a lot of videos and a lot of songs to record, and it's a very busy time.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
So, what makes you get into? You said it. What was the name again? What was the genre of music again?
New wave.
New wave. What makes you get into the new wave sound?
Well, the first time I ever heard new wave was around 2018. I heard Devo. It wasn't actually one of Devo's more new wavy tracks. It was, I think, The Evolution from their like first album, which was very rough, and I didn't like it so much. But the more I listened to Devo, the more I was like, this is a cool sound. And then I found out about B-52s and Blondie and the Go-Go's, and I was like, this is the jet-setting music of the future that I think the world could really use a whole lot of right now. So starting
with some party times too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, new wave is a good genre because, well, it's in a very unique position.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only genre, that, as far as I know, that's both a subgenre of punk and a subgenre of rock and a subgenre of pop. So it's a very unique crossroads. And I like it because it's inherently humanist music. It's very futurist. It's very colorful and fun. And it's great party music. It's good to dance to. And I think historically it does not get enough appreciation. I don't think it's had a cultural reevaluation on the same level as disco. And I think more people could benefit themselves by exposing themselves to the new wave oeuvre, because there's a lot to be found in it that's worthy of critical analysis and reappraisal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there like parties out here? New wave, like parties, like nights at clubs and stuff like that?
No, I hate to say it, but I'm the only one doing new wave out here. Yeah, as far as I'm aware. I know there were a couple others, like 3 years back or something. Well, that's a thing. I can't seem to find a given scene. I tried to get into the punk type circuit a couple years back because I thought, oh well, new wave historically is a subgenre and offshoot of punk, so it would make sense. But today's punks don't seem to understand the history or cultural development of their own genre, and they don't even know what new wave is. I've heard some people ask if I invented new wave. I've heard some people confuse new wave with new age. It's a real shambles, the state of new wave currently, and yeah, I didn't get any positive reception from the punk circuit. They just are into like loud and screamy and abrasive type music, which is the total opposite of new wave. Like new wave's supposed to be like,
it's a vibe. I mean, when you do it, you're out there. You're playing the instrument and you're doing the vocals too, which is cool as fuck. But I feel like if you were doing one or the other, you would be as lit as you are on stage when you're doing it.
Yeah.
One or the other, and you have somebody up there with you doing it. That's y'all would set a show.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what like now I know what new wave is.
Yeah.
It seems like that's what it was for. Because I know the sound of it. I just didn't know what to name the sound. You know what I mean? I knew what new wave was, but I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, that's it.
And now that I know that, I mean, the sound of it, it's a feel good type. Like you don't have a dance to it, but you dance to it. One of those genre where you don't move to the music initially moves you.
Exactly right. I would say that new wave definitely is a genre that sounds the best with a full band. I can't name too many solo new wave well, there are a couple, but for the most part, it's a band type thing. And I've said often that there are some tracks of mine that would sound really good with a nice bouncy Tina Weymouth bass or a Keith Strickland type guitar riff. But I don't know anyone who can play guitar in the new wave style, because like I say, with the punk crowd, the idea is just to shred it and real loud and abrasive. And they don't know how to make their guitars sound clean, which is the whole idea in new wave, is that the guitar sounds like a rubber band. And I think, so as far as getting a band together, recently, my nephew Anton has started accompanying me on stylophone at some shows, and he's really good. And I think I'll probably, if I have a show anytime in the conceivable future, I will have him along to play stylophone with me, because he adds a whole new dimension. It's like the stylophone adds a whole layer to these songs that I normally just do alone on keyboard, and that wasn't there before.
Okay.
And my keyboard has...
You should bring them to one of the, you should bring him the corner beat or something.
Oh, I have. Several times, actually. I guess you weren't there that week, but...
Well, did you bring him last week?
No. He can be hard to convince to go, because he's also... he's younger than me, so he once saw that, like, I want a career in metal. I want to get big in metal. But the market is kind of oversaturated. It's actually very difficult to succeed in metal, because there are so many people who are into metal. But what I never would have guessed is that he's just so good on the stylophone and making these new wave songs sound great. He comes when he wants, though. He doesn't come every week. I wish he would. He really adds a lot to my songs. But you'll catch him one of these weeks. He's great. He's like, I never would have guessed.
Talk about your style, man. How'd you get your style? It's
Yeah. Well, this is I was inspired by, well, obviously David Byrne. David Byrne has the suit type look. That's a common thing in new wave, actually. Like Diva doesn't always do it with their new traditionalist era, kind of. But it's got to have like a tie. Obviously, I learned how to tie a tie. It looks great.
So you have to have a tie in new wave?
For the most part, yeah, it's very common, especially with like information society. Some people don't consider new wave, but I would consider them at least new wave adjacent. That guy's got a tie, and he's got like a suit and everything.
You gotta have a chain if you're rapping. It's like, no,
the tie is the signifier of new wave. This hat is my personal identifier. I got this at the Arc thrift store on Broadway about 5 years ago, and it's stayed with me on all my adventures ever since. I can do this neat trick that people like, and I can even do it vertical.
That's cool.
And it defies the will of gravity. And this is the straw boater. I like the straw boater because it's the type hat that not many people wear. A lot of people like beanies, and a lot of people like fedoras, especially cowboy hats here in Denver. But I like the straw boater because it's the type hat. It's the type hat that Carl Kolchak wears, and I don't see it get enough appreciation. I like this type hat a lot. So this is the new wave look broadly. You can also dress up in like futuristic garb. Devo does that a number of times. They have their cylindrical pyramid type hats. And then the other thing,
the ones that be like that.
Well, it's like the Waldviertel pyramid. It's a series of cylinders stacked on top of each other that are progressively smaller.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very. It looks kind of like a juji fruit.
What the?
And then
you got one of those?
No, I don't have one of those. this looks kind of like it.
So it's like, it's like if that was to get smaller and stack them type.
Yeah, but I don't have a Devo hat. I'm sure. I assume you can buy one online. They're probably for sale.
I'm gonna look it up.
But I prefer to invent my own type gimmick and carry on new wave in an organic sort of way, where it evolves and progresses how it should, without, adhering to the old canon, but also innovating and bringing in new things. So, yeah.
So, where do you think new wave would pop the most?
I know that new wave is popular in California. That's the only other place I've heard of a new wave act.
Florida?
No, California.
You think Florida though?
I don't think there was ever much of a presence of new wave in Florida.
Because that's a party city.
It is a party city, but it's more so like it's a synth pop city.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about like the '80s, Scarface and all that, that was the popular genre. Giorgio Moroder, you know, like Italo disco, synth, all that.
Okay.
California is the fun, bouncy type spot. The movie Earth Girls Are Easy has a very new wave aesthetic to it. I don't know if I'd call the songs in it new wave. I don't know if I'd call Julie Brown particular new wave.
Okay.
Kind of, but that's the look of new wave for sure. And new wave's always had a heavy presence in California. Probably in New York. I mean, I assume there's still a marginal appeal to new wave in New York. I mean, that's where the Heart of Glass music video is shot and all. But like Denver new wave, like all music, like all Denver genres, is totally lost to time. And I have tapes with bands on them that like I'm the only one to have these tapes and these songs. They're not online or anything. And
But
I have
Denver bands type?
Yeah, Denver bands.
So it used to be stronger out here.
Oh yeah, it did.
What part? Like more like the Springs area, more like Longmont area? More
No,
like
probably
down
definitely
Denver?
in central Denver.
Yeah?
Yeah, like downtown.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it's a very small window of time, but 1980 to 1985. I'm sure it was as big as it was in LA or New York. The difference is we have a proportionally smaller population here. So
Yeah.
whereas there's still
a smaller population here?
Yeah, well, Denver has a smaller population than LA or New York. Given the proportions, whereas there can still be a tiny demographic of new wave enjoyers in LA or New York. In Denver, it's like totally obscure. I have tapes with bands like the Aviators where I'm the only one to hear these songs. My favorite is, I think, I forget what it's called, but the Aviators are an excellent example of Denver new wave. When I hear that, I go, this is my city. It's very nice because it's nice to know that I had forebears here.
The Aviators.
Yeah, the Aviators. And the problem, too, is that a lot of these Denver bands call themselves things that are extremely generic, so they get confused with other bands. There's a much larger, more popular band called the Aviators, but they're not from Denver, and
So
they have nothing to do with it.
looked at more than, and they have nothing to do with new wave.
No, they're like new, and I don't know about the other Aviators, but the Denver Aviators are great.
Dang, I mean, that's crazy that it started out here, and can't find a scene for it out here.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that there would be something like, I don't know. Now you're going to have me researching some stuff.
At any given point in time,
that'd be cool to just go to a show like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
at any given point in time, Denver emulates the trends in whatever's popular on the coasts.
Yeah, that's true.
It's never, well, the closest that Denver ever came to introducing its own sound was grunge with the Fluid. And it did that before Nirvana in Seattle, but Nirvana took all the credit. The Fluid came first. So we could have had our own sound then, but Denver is designed and set up so that it never gets the credit for anything it pioneers. Denver invented grunge, basically. It's a much less nautical sort of grunge. It's more highway-focused, asphalt and fury sort of grunge, but it's grunge nonetheless, and we did it before Nirvana. My mom knew Ricky Kolwicki, and he's a prime figure in Denver music history.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of knowledge in the Denver music history, like the waves, what dropped, what's rising and stuff like that. You be looking into it?
Oh yeah, I'm a second generation Denverite, fifth generation Coloradan, and I'm very devoted to.
Where's your family from?
It goes so far back here that it's very difficult to trace where they're from before Colorado. My great grandfather, Patsy McCartan, was the fire chief of Colorado Springs.
That's cool.
In like 1900s, and yeah, I've been here ever since.
That's cool as fuck. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You probably got ancestors up in Colorado. Like that's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
So you move around a lot out here?
I mostly stay in the Denver area, although I do occasionally make it out to Colorado Springs or Boulder if there's a show that I want to go see and that I think is going to be good. I should probably check out what open mics are in Boulder because it only takes half an hour to get there on the bus.
Yeah.
I like. I'm a proponent of pan-Coloradan unity. I believe that if Coloradans are able to set aside their differences and work together, we could create great infrastructure projects like a train that served the Front Range corridor. And we should really focus on what makes us similar instead of what makes us different. And in that way, we could become a vast megalopolis like the Eastern or Western Seaboard or the Great Lakes region, or comparably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. Because there is a lot of focusing on the differences out here in Colorado instead of seeing how we can build off of our differences.
Right.
Make it, it's a more of a competition. I guess the wrong competition spirit out here. Because I hear people say they like friendly competition, but what's friendly competition if you're doing it to ultimately make the person feel like they're lesser than you? I mean,
well, I would say Denver has never been good at standing up for itself or saying, we're a city of cooperation, solidarity, unity. New York and LA can do this, but for whatever reason, Denver just can't seem to. As far as music goes, there are so many.
Is up there is heavy foot. Look at heavy footed like a mug. We're out here on Colfax doing this podcast.
Yeah,
it's a cool spot, but it's funny. But Denver is one of those spots where I don't know. They are.
Well, like I say, that there's so many different cliques and groups and small little undercurrents, but they never evolve into anything that can go anywhere. I see in a lot of Denver music publications like, oh, this is going to be the next big band. They're going to break out. They're going to have a huge tour, and they'll be viewed on the same level as any Californian act. They never are, because as much as they might be big here and we might like them here and they might get sold out shows in Civic Center Park, if they go to LA or New York, they're looked at as the small fish. They're looked at as, oh, you're from Denver, okay. Less consideration. What Denver needs to do is it needs to say, we're going to really focus on our own talent. We're going to cultivate a pool of local talent so powerful that we don't even need to worry about appealing to the Californian crowd or going on tour or whatever. We need to focus on empowering and strengthening what's already here to its fullest potential.
That's brilliant. Honestly, that's actually smart, very smart. I haven't heard that perspective on it. So that's cool. That's cool. I fuck with that. And y'all just heard it first on the Coffee First podcast. Mm-hmm. Let's get it. So between the two, comic, music, which one do you like the most?
I like comics more. Comics offer me a greater degree of freedom in that there are so few cartoonists here that I have basically no competition in the market. I am so good at creating a satisfying comic narrative that people want to read that I'm basically I'd consider Nicolas Comics probably the biggest comics distributor, and I don't know anyone else putting out independent comic series like I do. But I think that as far as music goes, there is a lot of, like you say, very petty, small-minded competition that ruins any chance of something big happening or some kind of movement being started, like Prince did in Minneapolis, or like Nirvana did with Seattle. You've got to start something, and I'd like to do that. I'd like to see more people put on new wave shows. I'd like to put on new wave shows myself, but I see so few people with a viable sound. And like I say, I basically have no peers, so I hop from one group to another. Not many people do that. Not many people are exposed to as many different groups of people as I am, but I can kind of see the whole picture of where Denver is at. Through my time in music journalism and just my time going to all kinds of different venues and genres and shows, there is too much of an attitude currently where a Denver musician is well, I'm going to be the new big thing, even though there's like, I mean, the market is very oversaturated with music. It's a very popular medium.
Yeah, it is true.
If you're going to succeed, you gotta have like good production. You gotta have consistent output. You gotta be ready to tour a bunch. And not many Denver musicians seem to have that kind of conviction or that kind of dedication to the craft. And people here don't seem to understand genres outside of their own genre. Like when I was interacting with the punk scene, I put out a song in the style of Ice Cube. It was based on the No Vaseline track from Death Certificate. And it's like a very historically famous track that any hip-hop fan would know of. But people immediately accused me of trying to be like Kendrick Lamar because their only exposure to a diss track, I guess, is Not Like Us, even though like Death Certificate, you know, it's older, but
it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be like Kendrick Lamar. I'm trying to be like Ice Cube. Not that I can even...
These youngins won't know the beef between Pac and Biggie, the beef between what DMX had, the beef between what Nas had, the beef between what Jay-Z had. They don't know Not Like Us though, because it was hooky. Yeah. It was a hook song.
Yeah,
it was very...
and I, no disrespect to Kendrick, I think Not Like Us is a phenomenal diss track, one of the best of all time. But I also think
very well planned.
I also think No Vaseline is, and I find it weird that when you make a song like that, people only jump to like the first thing, the popular thing that year. It doesn't apply because No Vaseline is built out of a very specific scenario. You know, Ice Cube feeling betrayed by the members of NWA, and that isn't really applicable to something like Not Like Us, where I mean, Kendrick and Drake weren't like in a group together before or anything. Yeah. So it's totally different scenarios, and one track is applicable to one scenario, and one track's applicable to a different scenario. Not even that I think I'm as good at flows as like Ice Cube or anything, but the fact that people in a punk scene or like metal or hardcore, it kind of all goes together. Like the loud, abrasive, guitar-driven genres don't know basic hip-hop history is kind of disappointing. It's like metal is this genre that claims to have like, oh, we're so bad, we're so edgy, you know, we vomit blood and all of this, but then like they don't even know like basic diss tracks or like basic songs from the 90s that were like very popular and influential as far as history went. And I think this is a shame. I think more people should have a diverse media diet. Like, I don't just consume new wave. I don't just listen to new wave songs. I listen to so much hip hop and a lot of punk and a lot of, I mean, like late 60s psych rock. I love like Syd Barrett, and I like Pink Floyd, Moody Blues, and 13th Floor Elevators and Count 5. There's a lot of bands I like and music I like that doesn't have so much of an influence on my own music, but I just like consuming it because it provides me with as wide a sample of human expression as possible. I think people need to branch out of their comfort zones and
check out new things.
Yeah, check out new things, like especially check out like golden era hip hop and like NWA and Yeah Boys and you know, all of that.
Like, there's some people that don't know what lo-fi music is.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Well, you should check it out. It's something like go to sleep to, focus to, do your homework to. Yeah. Check it out. It's usually real focused doing something with it. You lose time with it, you know?
I think a lot of people have...
You know, I met one person that didn't know what reggae was.
Didn't know what reggae was.
And I looked at them like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the thing is, these days music tends to go towards a genreless type idea. We can get music without a genre. I don't think this is any good. I think music should have signifiers and a point and say this is what this music is. That's why metal is so popular, because it's like one of the only genres left where like you go, okay, this is metal. It's not anything else, it's metal.
No, you can't.
But the rest is like very commercialized and just tries to say we're going to appeal to every demographic simultaneously, and it's like that's not really possible. If you want a good rock song, it has to have certain elements that make it a good rock
That
song.
make it a good rock song. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, genres are good and they're there for a reason, and they should evolve and grow, and new ones will pop up and old ones will go away. But they're good because they provide categorization and they give people something that, in particular, they can like.
Yeah.
And that's a strength of hip hop, and that's a strength of, like you say, reggae. Is like if you're into reggae, you can just listen to a lot of reggae, and it's good. But at the same time, I would encourage people of any genre inclination to listen to music that is a little different than what you're used to, and move around, and especially try and make friends beyond the genres that you're in. In my case, I have to do that because there's literally no one else making new wave, and I don't feel a sense of making. Although I will say, new wave has maybe it didn't originally, but new wave and hip hop have more in common than new wave and punk currently in the modern day. Because I mean, it's more beat driven and it's more fun, and I don't know. It's like I go to a lot of well, not so much anymore, but a lot of punk shows are just like they're just like very angry and bitter, and like they're all kicking, and I don't know. It's
Mosh pit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Whereas I go to like, I was at actually the last show I did, I'm pretty sure was a hip hop show, and it was really cool. And like everyone was just there to enjoy the music, and also it was so much more efficient than any of the punk shows I was ever asked to play at. Like it got the songs up in like less than a minute. Like the songs were queued up and ready to go, and everyone was just there to enjoy it. And they were able to pack like 20 acts into like 3 hours. Which is, I think, even better, faster rate than Corner Beat does. But I mean, it was incredible. I had a ton of fun at that.
That's cool.
So yeah, I try and get in where I can.
As a creator, what's your morning routine?
Right. My morning routine is I wake up. I usually drink some tea. I don't like coffee so much, but I do like tea. There's a lot of diversity to tea.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is this sweet and spicy blend. It's got cinnamon flavor, and the cinnamon is like a specific type of cinnamon that has a natural sweetness to it, so you don't even need to add sugar. It's very nice. I also like chamomile. I like peppermint. Sometimes in the morning, if I'm in the mood, I'll fry an egg from my pet chicken runt, and it's a good egg.
You got a pet chicken?
Yeah, she lays eggs like every other day.
That's cool.
For a long time, because she's like 5 years old, and that's pretty old for a hen. I didn't think she'd keep laying eggs, but she started again. She just kind of takes breaks from it. Yeah, every other day I get an egg, so the eggs are nice, and they make a fantastic breakfast. And then I don't know, I go for a walk around City Park or something. That's always nice to do in the mornings because
that's cool.
I'm glad to live in a spot like Denver where there's so many public parks and good trails and stuff.
Yeah, there is. Somebody told me it's so green here. I was like, "Where are you from?" And they're like, "I'm from New York."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, yeah, I bet you it is green here compared to there."
Denver has more land area. If you take the Denver metro area, it's huge compared to New York. New York has a higher population, but it's crammed into this tiny area. Denver, if you take like Lakewood and Arvada and all of that, we're huge. And we have so many nice green spots like Lakewood Gulch. We got Wheat Ridge, and it's like beautiful natural spots. And they're very nice to hang out and check out.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out, smoke at. And I'll be smoking at them. I'll be like,
yeah,
beautiful, beautiful view.
Right.
You know, that's cool though.
Yeah.
Well, shoot. Shout out one more time because I'm not long. It was wonderful having you on here and teaching me about new age music. And just how it started out here is amazing to me. I mean, I want to try to see if there's more events like that because if the Aviators is good. Little Fyodor is pretty good. He's a local figure. I interviewed him a while back. Other than that, I don't know if you can get them at Wax Tracks anymore, but if you go to Wax Tracks on 13th, this is the compilation I have. It's called
more Denver songs, and it's from the early 1980s. I have no idea if they have any cassette copies of those, or if I'm the only one that has them. They might have them in stock if anyone out there is interested.
Records?
Yeah, they have records, but most of early Denver new wave would be recorded on tape. Tape was the medium that democratized music for a lot of people and made it much easier to record at home, easier than ever before. That's why I released on tape.
Okay.
But as far as your question goes, I do think comics are my primary medium, just because I'm really like the only one doing them, and I'm really good at them. And even though I'm very good at music and new wave, I feel like I have more of an advantage as far as comics go. Yeah.
Okay. I feel that you don't see too many people doing comics and actually like making good comics. Because when I seen you doing that corner beat, you got some skills with the artist. You got artist skills, bro.
Well, I mean, the key is like Denver has to form its own mythology, and it has to care about itself and its history and
it was
its
crazy.
places.
Had the shading on
You
it.
gotta make a superhero that's like Denver based and Denver focused, the same way Spider-Man is for New York or Green Lantern is for.
Do you have any with color?
Oh well, I mean, recently, Get Dippy is the first comic series to feature color covers. For a while, I wouldn't even do that. Well, my printer is toner, so it can only print in black and white.
Okay.
Eventually, I do plan on maybe doing a series where the whole thing is like it's in color. I recently got a 20-pack of markers, and those are great.
Okay.
But I mean, there are good comics that are totally in black and white, and some of the best are. Original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Crow's all in black and white. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
And
I mean, mine's in black and white too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. As far as that goes, I would say, like, people should make a good superhero for Denver. I'm not particularly into the superhero side of things, but just like Green Arrow's for Seattle, and just like Spider-Man's for New York, you gotta make a superhero that flies around Denver and does Denver type stuff and focuses on Denver type.
What hero would that be?
I had one thought about called the Denver Defender, and the idea behind him is he takes greedy real estate developers and gentrifiers to task, because that's like the main issue facing Denver currently, is projects that don't really do anything that good for like.
You made a hero of Denver do real estate.
No, he doesn't do real estate. He's like he goes against the real estate developers. Yeah, he pushes for like public works and infrastructure that's like useful.
Okay.
Because recently, and this scared me, is like there was a rumor that a group of homeowners in 5 Points were campaigning to have the line that runs down Welton Street removed. And it's like no one needs to have that line removed. It's actually useful for a great amount of people.
What?
But they're like, it just looks bad. Yeah. The RTD said that's not going to happen. I'm really glad that's not going to happen because it'd make no sense. But it says a lot that you can spend like $90 million on a largely cosmetic project like the BRT. And then there's people that want a functional light rail line removed for no reason.
Yeah.
It's like the only transport in the area.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, Denver infrastructure is currently in a very sorry spot. So I think to any aspiring comic writers out there, that's the main angle that a Denver superhero would want to focus on is taking projects that are purely cosmetic to task and fighting for like good housing and like, I mean, that's the Denver issue currently, just like Lex Luthor and all. Yeah, exactly. I think that could be a pretty fun series. I don't know if I'll do it personally, but hopefully someone else free idea.
Where can we find your comics again?
Right. So you can find my comics by writing to Nicolas, Sequeira, 1424 Columbine Street, number 1, Denver, Colorado, 80206. Either write in and say, I want a free catalog. I send you the free catalog. You check off which comics you want. It has all the prices and titles on it. And then you send it back. And they send you your comics within a week. Or if you already know which comics you want, currently Get Dippy is coming out, and it's 5 per issue or 15 for all 4. And eventually, once issue 5 comes out, I'm going to reprint them as just one big book with, all of it in there. And that'll be like 20. But for now, you can get $5 an issue by writing to that address. Blotto's $5 an issue. A lot of my stuff's $5 an issue. So if you send that, odds are you'll get something good. and then I just send that to you within the week. I guarantee all my orders are within a week. Oh yeah, and $4 extra for anyone outside the Denver metro area, because I deliver everything in Denver by hand. So if you're outside Denver, then it's like $9 per issue, 19 for all four, like that. Because postage costs. And otherwise, I deliver them by hand. I physically go and say, here's your tape and here's your comic. Just like pizza delivery. It's very fast and efficient.
It's cool.
Other than that, you can find me on YouTube, Nicolas Sequeira on YouTube. Yeah, and I put out pretty good stuff week by week, every week. Lots of different stuff, lots of totally free content on there. My next video will be my 900th video.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then my website is tinyurl.com/NicholasComics. Oh yeah, Hypnagogic Archive. Hypnagogicarchive.neocities.org for some really good short fiction, if you're into that. And yeah, that's about the extent of what I'm up to right now and what I'm doing. And I play at so many open mics around Denver. I play at Corner Beat every Monday at 6 p.m. I play at Rooster Cat the first Saturday of every month at 6 p.m. Denver Art Society in Santa Fe the second Friday of every month at 7 p.m. I play Roxy on Broadway 7 p.m. the first and last Tuesday of every month. City Records the third Thursday of every month. It's just a very good and extensive list of local open mics. City Records is at 9 p.m. It's the latest of them. And then there's, oh yeah, RPO Framing the third Wednesday of every month at around 6. And then there's a new one that Q from Corner Beat is trying to start up in the church on South Pearl Street, and that'll be the third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. And he's looking forward to that one. Eventually, I want to start an open mic. That's one of my goals. If there's a local venue that wants to bring in like a pretty sizable crowd, because I've hosted the open mic at the Merc Cafe before it got sold, and I did a pretty good job with that. So if there's any venue out there that wants me to host an open mic and just a couple hours and go at it, I'll bring a list. I have my own equipment too. Then, you know, ask me. I'd love to. I'd love to host an open mic. I'd love to.
Your shit. Let's go. Okay. That's Nicolas Sequeira.
Yes.
On the Coffee First podcast, the podcast for creators by creators. Make sure you tap in. New effort every day. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Put your hand